I woke up this morning and my my grandmother, my uncle were essentially stealing energy again from me, from my dreams. So when I woke up this morning, I was pissed that that even happened again, second time in I mean second in the second day in a row, and I'm busy basically taking my spirit team to task that how the heck does this still happen? I thought I was protected from this shit. So uh anyway, then I started going, I have to blame someone, right? Anybody but myself. I mean, how the heck do I take responsibility for this? I'm bloody sleeping. Somebody needs to be making sure that I don't get intruded and raped in my sleep, you know? And I essentially said that. I was like, this is rape. This is energy raping while you're sleeping. You cannot call it anything else but that. And it's done by your family fucking members, right? So I'm fucking pissed today. I'm not even in the mood to even sound or be in any way but pissed. That's how I wake up this morning. Now I'm going through all this and I'm like, you know what? Fuck this divine masculines who are supposed to be doing their fucking part in this whole thing because they have been tasked with something and they're all falling short. All of them up until this point. And yes, perhaps that's part of my purpose because I actually remember that they were going to do this bullshit. But now that I'm here in this world and I'm experiencing it, I'm not seeing it in heaven of what this shit is going to feel like. But now I know exactly what it feels like. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck them. All the fucking divine masculines who were called to wake up and they didn't, they chose to stay in their state of sleep. They don't deserve to be divine masculines. They don't deserve that emperor status. They need to be stripped of it because let somebody else step in. They are not worthy of any kind of reward from this because I'm in this position because of most of them are being delayed by their own karmic shit. Look, I'm not judging. I'm karmic as well at some stage, right? And I had to work through that. But then I look at it and I'm like, but still, these fucking people sign contracts. So I'm asking Mother, you said I will be able to pull these people. You said it's not possible that you will not make it to divinity because when you wake up, you will wake your counterparts up. And they will have no choice but to be pulled by you. And I'm like, obviously these fuckers are dead weight now. I'm pulling and I'm pulling and I'm pulling and this, where are they? Right? They don't want to wake up. And this I also remember from heaven. That at some stage Father was like, this divine, he was actually upset. I don't see my father upset most of the time. But that time he was like, this divine masculine, and I think he did say something like they're gonna be stripped of their positions. Something like that. But he was saying that these divine masculines don't want to wake up. They wake up and then they choose not to answer to their contracts. Motherfuckers sign contracts and now they're like, oh, you know? And I'm like, okay, Father, can you please do me a favor next time? Don't ever plan a fucking divine masculine in my path again. Because I had a problem with this. This is why I asked Mother. Like, no, but then why is my divinity or my ascension through the ladder dependent on these people? What if they drag me down? Mother's like, no, it's not possible. You have enough energy to wake them up. And now I'm like dragging. I have to drag this dead weight. They don't want to wake up. It's not because of they can't wake up. It's because of they don't want to. It's not because of they can't, it's because of they don't want to. They wake up and then they continue, they know, but then they continue with their karmic shit. They choose to continue in their karmic environments, despite the fact that they're not really faring well. And that's what's going to happen to them. Me ascending is going to pull them apart in such a way that they're going to be defragmented the same way. Their environments are anyway going to get defragmented. They themselves are going to get defragmented. And now they're going to get defragmented in such a way that there's no support for them. There's no support in a sense of there's no support to divinity because they choose not to. Because once they align, they're going to get that support. But if they don't get aligned, it means now when I pull, I'm actually pulling these dead weights. It means I'm dragging them now. They're going to be dragged by the energy because they don't want to get up and face themselves and face their choices that they made before they even came here. So, Father eventually goes down the ladder and says, okay, I will wake up the kings. Oh, none of those kings wake up except for one who just so happened to wake up. But then what does he do as well? He's not waking up because of he wants to. He's waking up because of life is beating his ass as well, because I'm obviously dragging him. But then he's not doing the work either. He is cheating. He's thinking he can still cheat his way through it. And I'm like, you know what? I don't need that energy. All right? Father's like, this is where Father's like, those divine masculines are going to be stripped of their position because Father's going to give someone else an opportunity to rise up to that level. And I'm like, it makes sense though. If you think about it, someone who has had a position which afforded them some sort of privileges, they're not going to wake up to an environment where they now have to do the hard work. They're not. They're used to being spoon fed and whatnot fed and silver platters and whatnot. They're not going to do the job that they need to do. They're not going to get themselves, their hands dirty. They're not going to do that. They're going to wait until they have lost everything and they have nothing else and nowhere else to go. And then they were going to be like, what happened? Why am I in this situation? What's going on? Then the self-introspection starts. Then they start asking, oh, ancestors, why have you forsaken me? God, why have you forsaken me? That's what they're going to be doing. Only after the fact that they have lost everything. They were going to lose everything anyway. But this time they were going to lose something, a lot of things, when they don't have the support that they need to understand what's going on in their environment. And the only other way for them to get to a point where they understand what's going on in their environment is to wake up, is to align. And they're going to realize how shitty they have been, that they haven't been divine masculines at all. Because if you look back, and if I understand some of these energies that I saw, and I understand these energies that I had visions about, they're not being divine masculines. They're not. They may be called so, but they're not being divine masculines. Currently, I'm not talking about they are being as karmic as the rest of us. So it's time for a new definition of what a divine masculine and a divine feminine is. No cop outs here, no excuses. And I said to Father, Father, why don't you just make it so that I only have my divine masculine after my divinity? I get to get a divine masculine only after my divinity. That is, I reach my goals, my ascension. I go up the ladder and ascend, and I do everything, and it's dependent solely on me, not on other people, solely on me. And only after the fact that I've been divine and reached divine, then I can do a journey for me to meet my divine masculine. But he must come as a divine masculine at that time. He must have already went through his own ascension, not us going through ascension together, or not necessarily together, but him waking up on one side and I'm waking up on the other side. And not that my process or my purpose and my path should be impacted or be dependent on some way for someone to wake up and take up um, the baton or the task that they're supposed to do in order for us to ascend in such a way that we will be ready for each other wherever we meet in the path of ascension. So I'm looking at it and I'm like, this sucks. I had a problem with this. I asked questions about it, even in heaven. I was like, but why do I have, why does my mission? I did ask this question, Father, Mother, you know, I asked this question. I wasn't happy with the plan that I'm going to have all these people in my mission. And then in order for the mission to continue, they have to wake up as well and help out. So far they haven't done anything. I don't know if they have, maybe they have, but I don't see that. I don't know that. If anything, I'm seeing a different path where they haven't woken up. And even if they do wake up, they're not necessarily, they have woken up, but they are struggling or something like that. This is why I have to now go to night, right? Father's now waking up their nights. And the nights are just, they're also doing their own bullshit. And then I said to Father and Mother, are we back to the Abraham story again? I'm sorry, Abraham. I don't mean to be rude, but this is the inheritance that men have, um, masculine, have inherited from perhaps Abraham. I think it's something that is in the man from the Garden of Eden. Eve always had to be put in a position where she has to be vulnerable to something, you know, because of Abraham for some reason wasn't there when he needed to be there. And I'm living the Abraham again. I'm like, shit, are we going back to the Abraham story again? I'm the Eve in the story where I have to like make tough choices of having that apple on my own or not. And honestly speaking, I see why Eve ate that apple. I see why Eve went and ate that apple. I understand Eve. I understand Eve. I understand that generational curse. That is a generational curse that we all carry, both men and women. And I'm looking at it now and I'm like, come on. I, I I don't like this. I didn't like it. I didn't like the idea of this men or men being put in my path for to assist me in my mission, you know, and for me to assist them in their mission because they also have their own mission. They were supposed to come and antivirus the environment before I even have to wake up. I was supposed to wake up in this environment would be easy to defragment because there were no viruses, no bugs, no this, no that. But no, I had to wake up and pull all of them, and still they want to become dead weight. And I'm like, I said to Father, I don't even want to see these fuckers in future. I don't want them in my path. If I've left them behind, I said to Father, I want them out of my folder. I want them out of my counterpart folder. No, but it doesn't make sense. If a knight or a uh, maybe a fool there or some, I don't know, anybody who, or a page of whatever, if any normal person rises up, heck, that should be the case. But then you cannot come back as a divine masculine after the fact and be like, yeah, I want to be part of the mission. No, sit down. You're no longer that worthy anymore. You cannot do this. You are not going to disrupt the mission just because of you decided that you want to do this only after the fact that your ass got whooped by life and defragmentation when it's running in the system. And now that you have no purpose, you feel like, oh, I'm going to go and try to find my purpose by joining. No, you must do your own run. I'm asking Father basically to say they must run on their own mission, on their own, find their own purpose, go through their own ascension, and leave me the fuck alone. I will rise up with whoever, I will join with whoever is available in the future. I don't need this shit. It's too much of work to do and then carry fucking dead weight. I cannot do that. I don't want to do that. Why should I have to do that? You know, at this stage in this process, I shouldn't have to be fighting so much, you know, alone. Why were they even contracted? Why were they even there in the first place? Because all they're doing is essentially slowing down the mission. I'm stuck here because some fucker wasn't ready. And then Father's like, okay, in the meantime, you come here, you do your thing, you learn, you do everything. Yes, and you're earning a lot of things while you're doing that. I get that. Now, the 5th of May is 2 days ago, and I'm still fucking here, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? Where's my rescue team? Where are those divine masculines? It's not to say that I cannot move on my own. It's not that. It's that the mission, the plan included a specific being stepping up and coming and doing what they need to do, and me walking that path with them going forward. Because as a soulmate, we need to walk a path together towards a certain direction. No, I'm waiting and I'm like, oh shit. Now it means I have to spend another extra days here. Why should I have to spend even a single fucking hour extra in this kind of environment? I don't get it. I know it's in the plan, but I just look at it now that I'm going through it. Now I'm on earth and I'm going through it, and I'm looking at this and it's like, you know what? It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right to have to keep fending things off for the next coming whatever many days. This fucker is basically, I remember there is someone who's going to drop the ball again in this situation. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, this dog is just unhappy that I'm doing what I'm doing. But anyway, I'm gonna continue. He dropped the ball. Right. Now somebody else has to pick up that ball, or I have to walk alone. And I'm like, let me walk alone. Let me walk alone, because I asked that. I said, why should I? Why can't I just? So they're like, what then, what not? And I'm like, you know what? You have been taking good care of me up until this point alone. This divine masculine having coming to the party. My spirit team has been taking care of me, and they can continue to do that. All they have to do is just let me know where and how and when, and let me do this. I've been doing it. Let me do this. Let me walk this path alone. If I do happen to meet someone in future who would be willing to walk this path with me, so be it. Fuck the divine masculines. I mean, seriously, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. First, you slept to this. You allowed yourself to sleep to this. You didn't fight it, right? Because some of them, um, they are very powerful energies, but they chose to still get corrupted. You know, they claim they're not, and that's the funniest thing. It's the weirdest part about them is these are the beings who are away. They are away. They're not necessarily sleep like that. It's these are some of the beings who I'm saying know the truth, and they choose to live in the shadows of this world just because of, they have to keep with the status quo, I guess, you know. But at the same time, it's like, okay, here's an opportunity. Rescue is here, right? I'm here. Let's do this. And these motherfuckers are shaking in their fucking boots, and I'm like, what am I gonna do with them? I need soldiers. I don't need some pussies coming around here. I've been doing this alone for such a long time that I understand, and this is what I used to say to my sister, and I didn't know where it was coming from. I used to say to my sister, where we going? We need strong soldiers. We don't need some sissies. And she would look at me. She would look at me like, what the heck are you talking about? You're not going anywhere. Bitch, we got your ass. And I kept telling her this. I don't know how many times I kept telling her this. And I meant it. I don't need no fucking posters where I'm going. I need soldiers. I need real fucking men who are going to stand up. I'm not going to be Eve here. Okay? If Adam is not going to rise up and be the man that he needs to be, and be protective and be available and be a provider and do what they need to do, I'll keep walking on my own. Adam can fucking leave Eden himself on his own, and I'll stay here and do what needed to be done. Because that's essentially it. Eve didn't want to leave the Garden of Eden. She didn't want to leave the Garden of Eden. It's Adam who wanted to leave the Garden of Eden because of his bloody ego. Let him go. And now I'm sitting here and I'm thinking to myself, you know what? Fuck these divine masculines. And I don't need this shit. No one needs this shit. And whoever decides that they want to come and try their best, at this stage, we're not looking for people who are strong enough, but we are looking for people who are trying to be brave. I wasn't strong. When I woke up, I didn't even realize how strong I was until I tried to be brave. And if you want to be around this world with this whole shit of the devil hanging over your head, that's your choice. But I'm not sticking around this place with some weak ass divine masculines, and I don't need them in my life. And I said to Father, I don't want to see them as well. I really don't. I would rather Father choose different people. Those contracts are fucking cancelled. They should be cancelled. They cancelled the contracts themselves. They didn't honor them. They're not honoring those contracts. So we need to give the contracts to new people. I'll keep running on my own. That's all I asked for. I was like, can I just be, because I have anxiety as well, right, about this divine masculines. The way they sound like they're gonna, even if they do wake up, right? Even if they do join me, right, they're still going to be dead weight. I'm like looking at it. I've been looking at it and I'm like, you know what? I don't like the attitudes of these people that you're bringing towards me. From what I can see, these people are not as good as they put out to be, or as as good as they should be. They just pompous kind of beings because of they have been put in a position where because of their energy, right, they manage to live well to a degree, and they don't want to let go of that, and that's fine, but I don't want to be wasting my time on them. I really don't. I don't care for that. I really don't care for that. So that's my rant this morning. If I could name this video, or I mean not this video, this recording, fuck the divine masculine, I would name it that way. I would name it that way because these people are just mediocrity. When you say mediocre, this is exactly what I've been saying, that this world celebrates mediocre. I was telling Father that these tarot cards as well, these sort of people who are here, these emperors and whatnot. I said to her, this shit needs to change. There's no such a thing as an emperor here. No emperor energies, no empress energies, no queen energies, nothing in this environment, in this whole world. There isn't. People are busy pretending to be. Because when you start saying to them, okay, step up, they're like, they look anywhere else except for that step. They look anywhere else. And yes, they were probably queens and kings, and they were probably emperor and empresses. But if you look at the fact that they were there in what kind of environment, obviously you're going to look good in a low vibrational environment, even when you're not that great. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. The environment is changing. Bitch, you better step up. The emperor, empress, you better step up. This is new level of vibration. You cannot be keeping like, oh, I was an emperor, I'm an emperor and empress in that kind of environment where it's low vibrational, right? We need you to be that in a high vibrational environment, which is getting higher and higher and higher. So people need to work on themselves. They cannot be calling themselves emperor, empresses anymore. This shit is going to pull everybody. Be it an emperor, an empress, king or a queen, you're going to show, it's going to become evident whether or not you were handicapped in some way in that environment and you didn't even realize it. Because this environment, this new environment going forward, that energy of yours that was so big in that low vibrational environment is going to be tested. It's going to be tested, and so far, motherfuckers are seriously. I did say when I got here, I have been saying this. I remember saying this even at work. I used to say, why do we celebrate mediocre? I used to be saying that. This world celebrates mediocre. Oh, look at him. Oh, look. When you look and it's like, what did they do? Nothing. Anybody can do that if they wanted to. I remember somebody doing something so minimal, and I knew that they were capable of more. I eventually put them to this as, what the fuck is this? What is this shit? Why would you, this is not you. You know what that person tells me? He's like, you know what, this environment, ne? You can't show up like that energy. You cannot do more than you need to. They just want a little bit, because if you do show up in that energy, you get attacked. So the best thing is just to give them a little bit. Don't give them too much. Because If you expose yourself that you can give more, you're getting attacked. You'll never survive here. And I'm like, are you fucking serious? You think that's a good idea? You're going to live inauthentically as a big energy as you are just because you're afraid of being attacked? Now that shit is the shit that's not gonna survive in the new environment. That, oh, I'm going to keep hiding my energy because it shows how low vibrational you are. You drop your authenticity, it means you're no longer that emperor or that empress. So you must sit the fuck down and join the whole group of people who are trying to wake up. Stop calling yourself an emperor and empress. You're not. You're not. You're a pretender. That's what you are. I don't know what you're pretending to be, a chicken or something, but you're just a fucking pretender of some kind, and we don't need that shit going forward. We don't need that shit going forward. And it's not gonna work because you're either in or you're out. You're either going to be part of the upgrade or you're not gonna be part of the upgrade. You're either going to handle 5D frequency with the right fucking mindset, not the mindset of a fucking pretender, or you're not. And which is it going to be? What is it going to be? What is it going to be? And now I'm realizing that this issue is actually the fact that these fucking people who have signed this contract were never emperors in the first place. That divinity that they had, even in the first place, if they were divine masculine, well, I don't think it's going it's not gonna be worth it in the new environment. They're already showing big signs, big red flags of the fact that nah, they can't be. Imagine if a night rises. Imagine if night rises up. What's going to happen? What are we supposed to do with these divine masculines and these emperor people, empress kind of people? What are we supposed to do with them? You can't call them anything like that anymore. The fact that they have decided to not honor their contracts already, that shows you how low vibrational they are. It tells you that they are not honorable men. They do not honor their contracts. Their words and their contracts are worth shit. That's what it means. And you can't keep that energy around. I don't want that energy around me. I don't want no sissies. I cannot deal with sissies. I don't like sissies. It's okay to be a sissy every once in a while, but on certain things. But there's some things, seriously, you can't come here with pretend pants here and expect me to be like, because I'm looking at it and I'm thinking to Father, I'm saying to Father, Father, now I'm going to be looking at all these men in some very weird way because I'll be like, waiting for them. I said to Father, had you said to them, here's an opportunity for you to go and screw that woman and break her heart, they would be here in a minute, even in a second. I said that. I said, you should have told them that they get an opportunity to screw me over and then break my heart. You would have seen how fast they will be here. That's the low vibrational shit that they would respond to. I promise you, had the contract been about your job is going to be there for you to go and screw her, they would be here. They would be here by now. They would be flocking. They would be tripping over each other to come here. But because of it's about nobility and about being, a bigger person, a bigger energy, and acting in your highest vibration. They're like, we are big energy, but you know what? I'm kind of busy. I have this ex here. I have this mother who, I have these sisters. I have all these people who depend on me. And I don't think I have time for that. It's like, all right, okay, next. Oh, you know what? I think you're going to have to go and look somewhere else because I'm kind of, stuck into myself as well. So I think I'll take a pass. It's like, okay, next. Father's like, these divine masculines don't want to wake up. They wake up and then they go back. They're going to be stripped of their powers. I was like, mm-hmm. I was happy actually. I was like, so what are we going to do now? I didn't think Father will talk about kings, to be honest. Oh, I guess we're going to have to wake up the kings. And I'm like, oh, man. And then eventually one king wakes up and that king is not good as well. Father's like, night. And I'm like, are you sure we should? I said that. I remember Father said, are you sure we should be doing this with these people? I mean, can't we kind of just move along alone? I've been asking this question since. I think he said something like, if I remember, Father, you probably said something like, you might just have to. And I was smiling. I was like, mm-hmm. I didn't like the idea of being dependent on other people like this. It's a waste of energy. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of my time. I can run. Defragmentation can run. It doesn't need all these other tools to run. Even though it's heavy, it's heavy. But what is more heavy, what makes my journey more heavy, is having to wait for dead wood. That it makes it even more heavy. Having to drag all this dead wood and having to wait for all this dead wood is making my job more difficult. Had I been running on my own, I think I would have been doing this. Yeah, I'm not saying I'm strong enough to do that. I would have loved to have some assistance. I was looking forward to it even because Father felt like it would be best for me to have someone to walk this journey with. But I I have been here for so long doing this on my own. I might just as well continue. And whoever rises up to the challenge at some stage, it is what it is. But this is not gonna be about me as a feminine. It will be about me as an agent, and we move forward. We do what needs to be done, and we have fun while doing it. But no disturbances in the future about, oh, they are awake now, can they join? No, they must do what they need to do on their own. They must do what they need to do on their own. I don't want to have to be dealing with this dead wood going forward. Be it that they wake up or not. I really don't care for that anymore. I never did, and I'm like, I don't want to. I wasted. I'm like that. Even before this whole thing, if I waste energy on you in the past for some reason, when I go forward, I don't want to waste any more energy on you. It's like hi and bye every day. It's like I don't have that, oh, we were supposed to be, oh, like this is what I did to my ex, and I think this is why he hates me so much, because I was just like, hey, hi, yeah, okay. Just a chat, and that's it. I was never like, oh, you and I, you and I. No. It's like I've moved past it. I don't even consider you in a way that you would think that I would have some sort of a residual kind of a love for you in that way. I don't. It's because of I move forward. I got bigger things to do. I got plans. I got things to do, and I don't have time to be waiting on. I know you. I've seen you, and I'm not impressed with your what do you call it? Your low vibrational state, right? And um, as much as you can be high vibrational, I've seen you in your worst, and I'm like, they are better people who were low vibrational in their worst, who were even better than you. It's almost like when you expect a lot from someone, right? Maybe people will be like, oh, don't expect a lot from people. Whatever, man. That's not real. You know that. When somebody's coming off with this energy of divine masculine and they busy acting in a lowly way, right? And on intent, you see how someone who is a masculine is just trying their best. Which one would you choose if you were in that position? I would choose the one who's doing their best, because the energy that these divine masculines bring of I have and I am and I know and whatnot. But then on the other flip side, when you look at them, they behave like they don't know, they don't have. It's like they think that just because they look away, they say away, they have something and whatever, that speaks for them. And that's what the issue I had with my other divine masculine who was supposed to come through. I was like, this energy is the same energy that I dealt with my ex. I don't want him because of he's coming with that ego still. I don't care for that. I'll walk with any regular old man or woman, right? Well, I don't think I'm gay like that, but I'm just saying in terms of working on a path, in terms of walking in a sense of soulmates, in a sense of doing the job that we came here to do. I would just do that. A normal person who's just trying their best. That's the funniest thing, is that people who are normal try their best. And guess what? Their best is very, very good. But these people who you would expect, it's like, it's the same thing as these priests or the high priestesses and whatnot. They're full of shit, most of them. You would expect most of the people who did this bullshit to me call themselves lights, call themselves high priestesses, call themselves emperors and emperors and empresses. I didn't know what that was. I didn't understand it. And now I'm waking up to it and I'm finding, I was like, ah. The question is, are you doing your job? Are you being emperor about it, or an empress about it, or you just talking big and can't show up for it? It's a shame. It's a damn shame. Anyway, enough with my ranting.